What's up, everybody? It's Minister Crush here, and today I want to talk to you about when you first start out, you're going to run into what I call the slow start. And I want to tell you what you need to do when you're trying to survive the slow start. Because this is the area and this is the time where a lot of people quit. You quit because you feel like nothing's happening, nothing's moving. And because nothing is moving, you think that things are going wrong. And when things are going slow and when things are moving at a snail's pace, don't think you're doing something wrong. This is the moment and this is a time where things are working on you before they work for you. I remember back when about 10 years ago, I got a job working selling insurance. And I wish if you ever never done sales, I'm telling you, you need to get a job working sales. Or I encourage people to work in multi-level marketing. And people say, oh, multi-level marketing is a scam. The biggest scam in the world is your job. I mean, because people say, oh, multi-level marketing is a scam because all the people at the top make the most money and all the people at the bottom make the most money. That's how every job works. And as a matter of fact, the reason why I say the biggest scam is your job is because at least in multi-level marketing, you know who's at the top. It's only a few people in there. There's only a few rungs, and you probably know the person. You can probably speak to the person who's at the top. In your job, you'll probably never make it to the top. In order for you to make it to the top, the person that is above you probably has to die. In order for you to move up, somebody has to die. It's craziness. Or for you to move up, you have to know somebody, or you have to be related to somebody. And it's not a knock on that because that's usually how it should go. I'm not opposed to you putting your family in positions because that's how it should be. But that's how most jobs work. So move all that stuff because of what you heard when it comes to multi-level marketing. That's how it should be. But when it comes to those type of jobs, a sales position job, it teaches you how to talk to people, but also it teaches you how many times someone's going to tell you no before you quit. So when I had this job in sales and I was selling insurance, you know how long it took me before I actually got a sale? It took me 4 months working there before I got a sale. 4 months. Most people would not last 4 months at a place before they made any money. I mean, I was burning through savings 4 months because I was so consistent and committed to understanding that it's not that I was bad and the thing that I was doing wasn't working. I understood, I had the mentality that this works because I see all these people that were doing it and making good money. My supervisor, the person that was above me, was making 100,000 a month doing this. So it worked. I understood that I did not know how to make it work. I didn't acquire the skills yet to make it work. And it took me 4 months. And the first sale I got, you know how much I made on that sale? $750. That's it. But it took me 4 months to acquire those skills, going through the scripts, getting the scripts. And then when I got the scripts, because it didn't take me too long to get the scripts, but it was not even just knowing the scripts, but how to say it, how to have the right inflections, knowing which ones to say in which situations. And the good thing about it is it teaches you a lot about yourself when you are in sales. Becoming better at communication. That takes you to the next level, is learning how to communicate with people. But the problem is, we live in a society today, we're so used to the microwave. We want everything instantaneously. We want success instantaneously. And because we can't get success instantaneously, we tend to quit. We tend to think it's not working, and we back out, we fall out, we leave. And sometimes when it comes to success and progress, all work works. And sometimes it's working on you before it works for you. When I think about it, I think of all things coming in seed form. When you think about a seed, what do you do with a seed? You have to first, in order for that seed to grow, you have to plant it in the ground. And when you put it in the ground, it's in the soil. A lot of times we don't understand that while that seed is in the soil, there's a lot of work going on beneath the surface where people cannot see. And too often we see these people who are successful, who are making a lot of money. Like my supervisor, when I was in sales, selling insurance, I didn't see the time and effort and the years it took my supervisor for him to get to where he was. And then his supervisor, for her to get to where she was. She was making 1.5 million a year. How long it took her to do it? It took her 20 years to get to where she was. We don't see the years she grinded, the years he grinded underneath the soil, underneath the dirt. How long it took for the roots to take hold beneath the surface. It's a lot of stuff has to take place when it comes to success. And it's important for you to understand that, because if you get success immediately and instantaneously, if you don't become the person who can handle it, it will immediately break you. When I think about what God is doing in our lives, He is so focused on you becoming the person who can handle it. Because He has the gift that He wants to give you. He wants to give it to you. But He's more focused on you becoming the person. But we're focused on what? His hand. We're focused on His hand. He's more focused on you. Be more focused on the becoming, not the outcomes. Not the outcomes. Be focused on the process. The process is where it's at. When we're focused on the processes, not the outcomes. Because when we become focused on the process, understand this is how it works. The processes will bring forth the outcome. Just like that seed, when it takes root, over time, we'll start to see something spring out the ground. We'll start to see something, the shoot come up. And I love the fact how God works. Because all he tells you to do is just you plant the seed. And when you plant one seed, you do your part. You plant the seed. He tells you to plant one seed. He brings forth the fruit. And the fact of the matter is, when you plant one seed, do you get one fruit? No. Multiplication is how God works. Not addition, multiplication. You plant one apple seed and you grow an apple tree. You don't know how many apples can come from one seed. But because you're not willing to because you're not willing to plant the seed, you're not willing to go through the process to take root, to let the germination happen, to go through the process underneath where no one can see, before you can shoot through the ground, then the fruit will come. And then you don't know how much God has in store. It's just waiting for you, but you have to go through the process. You have to go through the process. That process is going to take consistency. It's going to take you showing up. There's going to be times when you are going to show up and no one else is going to show up for you. Do you stop? Do you quit? How many no's is it going to take for you to stop? How many no's is it going to take for you to quit? How many times are you going to post a video and you're going to get 0 views for you to quit? How many months of you doing this for you to end it? Sometimes that's what it's about. It's about seeing how consistent you're going to be. I'd rather do this for 10 years. 10 years. And allow this process to work on me, to make me better and better, and hopefully, because I know I'm not good yet. But I promise you, after 10 years, it's going to work on me to make me better. And after 10 years, I can imagine what I'm going to be after 10 years. Let the process work on me. And I know after 10 years, God has something in store for me. All work works. He's just asking you to be consistent. God says, I'm not going to do your part. And best believe you cannot do mine. You can't. What if you work at something for 10 years? And on the 10th year, your breakthrough was there, but you quit on the 9th. You were supposed to do it for 5 years, but you quit on the 3rd. Your breakthrough was on the 5th year. Be consistent. How many no's is it going to take for you? How many doors slammed on your face is it going to take for you to quit? I remember when I used to talk to young people, and a lot of them I always tell them, like, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? And a lot of them would give me an answer. They would tell me, oh, well, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever case may be. And then I'll tell them, okay, so if I was a millionaire, and I was going to fund you, and I'll give you the money, and then you were able to do whatever your heart desires. And then a lot of their answers changed. Oh, I want to be a clothing designer, or I wanted to go to the NBA, or whatever the case may be. All these things changed. And I asked them why. Because they're told that you're supposed to have a plan A and then a plan B. And I'm like, why are you told to have a plan B? Who came up with the plan B? I noticed that most people who are successful never had a plan B. They only had a plan A. Because they don't quit. They don't quit. They have that drive. They don't care how many no's they get. They're going to keep going. They don't care how many doors are slammed in their face. They're going to keep going. There's no other option. You have to have that drive in your mind that there is no other option. Failure is not an option. This is it. You cannot be successful until there is one single goal, one single focus. This is where I'm going. In that uphill battle, that race that you are running has the only place I can go is straight. The reason why we can't be successful is because we got too many options. When you have too many options, you lack focus. And when you lack focus, you get off course. So let's focus on one goal. Plan A. And if I focus on plan A, I'm going to chop at this single tree. And I'm going to chop at the single tree for 10 years. And if it take me 10 years, if it take me 20 years, I'm going to chop at the single tree for 20 years. I promise you, I'm going to knock it down. I promise you, there's no other option. The tree has to fall. It has to. That's how you have to look at life. Every person who has been successful looks at life this way. The tree has to fall. There's no other option. So let it work on you until it works for you. That's all I have for today. I'm Minister Crush. Until next time, peace.